Can you hear me? So it's another evening that we are going to have our bakery lesson, and today we are going to tackle yeast products. So for today's learning outcome, um, we are going to define various terms. We are going to define various terms, and then we are going to identify different types of equipment used in baking. And then we're also going to mention some of the ingredients that are used in baking. So can someone define the term baking? Kindly, if you have an idea, you can raise your hand. So I'm going to define for you. Baking is cooking using dry heat. Then we are going to define another term, which is commercial leavening. It's an agent containing yeast cells used to raise the dough or the dough in making breads and fermentation of beer and whiskey. That is why it is called brewer's yeast. Then we have baker's yeast. It's a common name for the strain of yeast commonly used as a leavening agent in making breads and related products. So those are the terms that we were to define for today. Now we are going to look at different types of yeast products. We have lean dough products, and this one is the dough that has low fat content. For example, we have bread, we have rolls, we have buns, and donuts. And then we have another category of rich dough products, and these are the ones that contain high content of fat, sugar, and sometimes eggs. And examples, we know croissant. I believe all of us know croissant. We have Danish pastry. These are examples of uh, those rich dough products. Now we are going to look at ingredients and their role, because each and every ingredient that is used when we are baking has got its own role. Number one, we have flour. I'm going to list the ingredient and then I'm going to emphasize on their roles. We have flour, we have salt, we have sugar, we have liquid. Liquid can be either milk or water. You also have fat. So for the flour, um, it has high gluten content that softens and stretches during fermentation. And in other words, we can say that flour is the main ingredient that form bulk when it comes to making yeast products. Then we have salt. Salt helps in adding flavor, but you should not add direct salt to the, you should not add salt direct to the yeasts, because they don't work well properly when when you add direct. So you should make sure that when you are mixing, you add your salt to the flour, and then sugar and yeast, you add them separately. We will see that when we come to our practical lesson. Then we have sugar. It helps in fermentation process, and also it sweetens the yeast product. We also have liquid. Liquid is used to bind ingredients so that we can get the texture of the dough that we want. And when we are using liquid, it should be lukewarm, either water or milk. Then we have fat, which is used to improve and used in keeping qualities, flavor, and it also add nutritive value to the dough, to the product. So we also have quality of yeast product. When you're doing the yeast product, the final product should have a golden brown crust, which is both thin and smooth. It should not be thick. Then it should have a symmetrical shape. So your product should have a definite shape. Then it should be well risen, not over flattened. So, and that is why we give our product sometimes to prove, so that they can be well risen. And once your product is well risen, at least it will be able to penetrate some heat and it will be well cooked. Then a light texture with a moist and resilient clump, then good flavor without a taste of yeast or sour taste. So, taste of yeast should not be should not have an exaggerated taste of yeast. Then a well rounded top, especially for bread. So the bread should have that well rounded top. So, any questions so far? Any question? So you should be able to give definition of various terms that are used in yeast products. You should be able to name the ingredients used and also their lore. You should also be able to give the qualities of a good yeast product. Any question? Maureen, are we still together? Rose, do you have any question? Any question on yeast product? Any question? You're okay. Mercy? So I'm going to give an assignment, and I want you to read ahead on what we are going to cover next. So I want you to look at different types of yeast products. I want you to identify them and also read ahead on their faults so that next time we can pick from there. Unless there's another burning question. Then another activity, you can visit the bakeries